welcome back to Scott's Speaking Sports Today, ladies and gentlemen. I'm back with my dad today. Time to get into our record predictions for Florida State and the New York Giants. Let's get into those. First game for Florida State at home against Alabama. I will take Alabama. I think Alabama is upset about what new Florida State quarterback Thomas Castellanos has been talking this offseason, so I think Alabama gets the win on the road.
I agree with Scott. Alabama's a much better program than Florida State. They've got better players. They're going to play with a chip on their shoulder. I like Alabama in this by at least 2 touchdowns.
Next up, they host East Texas A&M. I'll go with Florida State to get the win here. It sounds like a team that I would see in my college video game. I'll take Florida State to get the win here over East Texas A&M.
I literally have never heard of that school, and I follow college football pretty closely. So I think Florida State gets the win here big.
Next up, they host Kent State, a team that we have heard of. I will take Florida State, though, to get the win here at home over Kent State.
When you need a win, call the MAC. I think Florida State gets a win and goes 2-1.
Next up, on the road at Virginia. I think that's another win. I think Virginia's about on the same talent range as Florida State is, but I think Florida State will find a way to get a win on the road.
Yeah, I think this could be a close game. Florida State has not done well on the road in the ACC. But I think Florida State gets the win here, but it's a close one.
Next up, on the road at home against Miami, I think that's a loss because the Canes are playing the Gators the week before. I think Florida will probably win that game. So I think Miami's going to want a bounce-back game. So I'll take Miami on the road over Florida State.
I agree with Scott. I think Carson Beck is going to add an element for Miami that Florida State's not going to have, and I think Miami gets the win.
Next up, at home against Pitt, I will take Florida State as well. I think Florida State is going to be a better team than Pitt is this year, so I'll take Florida State at home over Pitt.
I'm going to agree with Scott here. I think Pitt is going to give them a good game, but since they're at home, I'll give Florida State the edge.
Next up, on the road at Stanford, I will take Florida State. Stanford's program has just fallen off since the days of Andrew Luck and Christian McCaffrey. I'll take Florida State to get the win on the road in Palo Alto against Stanford.
Yeah, Stanford's a really bad program right now, so I also agree with Scott. Florida State gets a win.
Next up, at home against Wake Forest, I will take Florida State to get the win here as well. I think Florida State's a better team than Wake Forest, so I'll take Florida State to get the win over Wake Forest.
There's always a game that Florida State should win at home in the ACC that they don't, and I think they're going to lose this one. I get Wake Forest as the upset.
Next up, on the road at Clemson, probably one of the best teams in college football coming into the season. I'm going to go with Clemson at home to get it done against Florida State.
People were making fun of Dabo the last few years because he wasn't using the transfer portal, but Dabo looks like he knew what he was doing. Very good Clemson team. They beat Florida State handily.
Next up, at home against Virginia Tech, I think that's a win. I think Florida State needs this win to get into potential bowl eligibility, so I'll take Florida State to get the win over Virginia Tech.
I'm going to disagree with Scott. I think Florida State is going to continue to struggle against upper echelon ACC teams, and I think Virginia Tech gets the win here.
Next up, on the road at NC State, I will take NC State. NC State is going to be a decent team this year, so I'll take NC State at home over Florida State.
I agree with Scott again. I think NC State is one of those programs no one talks about, but they're generally an above-average program, and I think they will be Florida State at home.
And finally, they go into the swamp final week of the season as they take out Florida. I will take Florida in this game. I think Florida's playing for a spot in the college football playoff in this game, so I'll take Florida to get the win over Florida State.
Agreed. I think Florida is a better program at this stage than Florida State, and I do believe the Gators will get the win.
Now into the New York Giants record prediction. Probably one of the toughest teams to predict in the NFL this year. I think this team could be very good or very bad, so we'll see what happens.
Or in the middle.
Yeah, somewhere in the middle too. Yeah, also. First game they go on the road to face the Washington Commanders. I think that's a loss. I think Jaden Daniels is in for another very good season. I know the Giants have a good defense, but Jaden Daniels will find a way to put up enough points here. I'll take the Commanders to get it done at home over the Giants.
The Jaden Daniels story is a great one in his rookie year. Question is, does he go through a sophomore slump? I don't think so. I think he's the real deal. I like the Commanders in this game.
Next up, on the road at Dallas, I fully expect Micah Parsons to be on the field for the Cowboys, even though Jerry Jones doesn't want to pay him in the offseason. If Micah Parsons is not there, I might take the Giants in this game. But because I think he will be there, I'll take the Cowboys at home to find a way to get a win over the Giants.
I agree with Scott. I think the Cowboys are probably a slightly more talented team. They're playing at home. I got the Cowboys in this one.
Next up, they host first home game. Unfortunately, the fans will probably be out of the stadium by the fourth quarter as they host Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Taylor Swift will probably be at this game. I will take Travis Kelce and the Kansas City Chiefs to get the win on the road over the Giants.
I agree. I actually think it'll be a close game, though. The Chiefs hardly blow out anybody. They play down to their opponents.
Just last year.
I think they'll be similar this year. I think they'll win by like a field goal, but the Chiefs will get the win.
Next up, they host the LA Chargers. I think that's another loss. Very tough first half of the schedule here for the Giants. I'll take the Chargers to get the win over the Giants.
I agree. I think the Giants are going to lose this game and unfortunately go 0-4.
Next up, on the road at New Orleans. Finally, a win. I'll take the Giants to find a way to get a win here. I think Russell Wilson will do just enough this week to get it done against the Saints.
Saints will probably be one of the 3 worst teams in the NFL, and the Giants will be maybe just above that. So I agree with Scott. I'm going to take the Giants this one.
Next up, the Giants heading to back at home as they take on the Philadelphia Eagles. I'll take the Eagles to get the win here on the road over the Giants.
Eagles have one of the top 2 or 3 most loaded rosters. Eagles are going to beat the Giants handily here.
Next up, on the road against the Denver Broncos. Again, I don't know who scheduled these games, but I'll take Denver at home. I'll take Denver at home over the Giants.
It's a tough schedule.
Very.
And they're one of the worst teams in the league last year. I agree. The Broncos, I think, will be one of the top 4 or 5 teams in the AFC. I think that they beat the Giants pretty badly, actually.
Next up, they go on the road to face the Philadelphia Eagles. At least you got the Eagles out of the way going into November. I'll take the Eagles at home, though, to get the win over the Giants.
I got the Eagles in sweep as well. Give me the Eagles.
Next up, they host the San Francisco 49ers. You know what? I'm actually going to give the Giants a win here. I think that the defense will get some turnovers. I think Russell Wilson knows how to beat the Niners in his days when he was in Seattle. I'll go with the Giants to find a way to get a win here at home over the Niners.
I'd like to take the Giants here, but unfortunately, I think the Niners are just too talented. I got the Niners.
Next up, they go into Chicago to take on the Bears. I'm going to take the Giants to get a win here. I think Caleb Williams is going to be a better quarterback than what we saw last year. I think the Bears are a potential playoff team, but I think that the Giants will find a way to get a win here over the Bears.
I'm going to take the Giants in this game just because I feel bad for them because they only have 1 win on the season. I do think that the Giants head coach or the Bears head coach will make a difference, but I'll take the Giants in this game.
Next up, they go back at home to take on the Green Bay Packers. I'm going to go with Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers to get the win here on the road over the Giants.
It's a brutal schedule.
Yeah.
Wow. I agree. I think the Packers are going to win this one. Packers are probably one of the 3 or 4 best teams in the NFC. I like the Packers.
Next time they go on the road to face the Detroit Lions. I'm going to go with the Lions to get the win here at home. I think the Lions are a very good team this year. They're not going to be as good as what we've seen in the last 2 years with all the losses that they've had this offseason. But I think the Lions will still be one of the best teams in the NFC. So I'll go with the Lions at home over the Giants.
I agree with Scott. I think the Lions will take a step back, but the Giants are probably 2 or 3 levels below where the Lions will be. I like the Lions.
Next time they go on the road to face the New England Patriots. I'm going to go with the Giants to find a way to get the win here. I think Drake May is going to have a little bit of a tough day here. So I'll take the Giants to get the win over the Patriots.
Okay, this is sort of a pity pick because the Giants only have 2 wins at this point in my forecasting. So I'm going to take the Giants against the Patriots, but it would not surprise me to see it go the other way.
Next up, they go back at home to take on the Washington Commanders. I'm going to go with Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders to get the win here. I think the Commanders are probably my pick to win the NFC East this year, so I'm going to go with the Commanders to get the win over the over the Giants.
Probably another pity pick, but I'm going to take the Giants in an upset at home over the Commanders. It's a divisional game, so I think there's going to be a surprise upset here.
Next up, they go back. They stay at home to face the Minnesota Vikings. I'm going to go with the Giants to lose this game. Unfortunately, I think the Vikings I think that J.J. McCarthy is going to prove to people why he was one of the highest rated quarterbacks in the draft a couple of years ago before he tore his ACL in preseason last year. I'll take the Vikings to get the win over the Giants.
I think the Vikings are just a better coach team and better athletes. I like the Vikings.
Next up, as they face the Las Vegas Raiders at Allegiant, I'm going to go with the Giants to find a way to get a win here. I think the Raiders are probably a better team, but I think both teams don't have a great quarterback, so I'm going to go with the team with the better defense, and that would be the New York Giants. So I'm going to go with the Giants to find a way to get a win here in Las Vegas against the Raiders.
I'm going to take the Raiders just because they're at home. I think Pete Carroll will do a good job turning them around a little bit. So I like the Raiders to win this one.
Next up, they host the Dallas Cowboys, two teams that are probably not making the playoffs this year. So this game is just for pride, probably. I'm going to go with the Giants to get the win here at home. I think neither team's going to be playing for anything here. I'll take the Giants to get the win over the Cowboys.
I'm going to agree with Scott. I think the Giants lost on the road earlier in the season. They get the win at home to split the series with Dallas.
Yep. And that will do it for this episode of Scott's Week in Sports. Next week, we finally have some college football games to pick. There's about 4 or 5 of them next week in week 0 of the college football season. And I'll also be doing the New York Jets record predictions from my friend Allison. And we'll see you guys right back here next week on Scott's Week in Sports. See you later, guys.
See you guys.